Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast, where I, your host, Xavier Cruz, a lifelong wrestling fan, will take a lifelong friend through the action, the joys, and the drama of the world of professional wrestling. My co-host, Kelsey Silva, has been bitten by the wrestling bug, and I want to invite you to join us as I take her through the moments that made me a fan. So if you're new to wrestling and would like to get brought up to speed, or a fan who would like to relive some classic matches, promos, and segments through fresh eyes, join us as we embark on a journey through the Attitude Era and beyond. Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the September 9th, 1996 edition of Monday Night Raw, and the match card is as follows. We had Savio Vega versus Farouk in a Intercontinental Championship tournament first round match. We had TL Hopper, the wrestling plumber, versus the Stalker, who was making his debut. We had Freddie Joe Floyd versus Crush, and we had The Undertaker versus Salvatore Sincere. All right, let's get into it. So this episode is actually not a full week after the last one we watched. It's actually only a couple days after. The one we watched previously was like a special like Friday night edition of Monday Night Raw, which is
why did I not know that?
I don't know. We didn't really mention it last week, but that is the case.
Whoops.
So this one actually happened just a couple days later, and it opens up. We get a kind of a promo for Shawn Michaels versus Mankind at the upcoming In Your House pay-per-view. That one was like pretty brief, and then we open up into the first match. We do get a little note from Ahmed Johnson, and he basically said, doesn't really matter who wins the tournament, they're going to have hell to pay when I get back.
I kind of love to hear it. I'm not going to lie.
So he may be out of the picture, but he is certainly making sure that everyone is on notice that when he returns, we're gonna see some ass kicking.
Love
so
it.
the first match starts. We get Farouk accompanied by Sunny. Sunny is really giving us her. It looks like it was the inspiration for the like the Britney Spears like "Hit Me Baby One More Time" like music video. I mean, like this predates that by like a couple of years, but it feels
you're
like
not wrong.
like, you know, they pulled a picture of Sunny when they were like looking for like outfit inspos.
Because
Right.
it was a neon fuchsia push-up bra straight off the rack from Victoria's Secret, I can tell you. And the silk the silk button up.
Blouse.
Yes,
That was like
that was just tied, like nothing else. And when Sunny and Farouk walked out, Jerry the King Lawler, because she walked out like literally tits first, like she just walked out, just
hits up
out.
Yeah,
good for her. But like she walked out, and I didn't even see Farouk because I just saw other things. And Jerry the King Lawler said, "Wow, what a pair!" And I legitimately thought he meant Sunny's rack, and I was like, "Oh my god, he did not just say that." And Xavier was like, I think he's talking about Sunny and Farouk, and I was like, oh, well.
But it definitely works on both levels, and especially
it was a double entendre.
knowing Jerry the King, like he meant it on both levels.
I'm sure he did, and it was well executed because I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. They're lovely, I guess, but
yeah. So the match was like pretty decent. They're both like kind of like on the same level as far as like where they are in terms of the card. So it was a really, really good like back and forth. They both got kind of some decent moves in. Salvio got like a spinning heel kick, which was just like the timing and the like where it landed, the precision of it was so good.
Good.
That,
I love Savio Vega.
That they replayed it. It was so good that they like had to replay it. They were like, in case you missed how just lovely that was, check it again. And then we had it was very back and forth. Like neither one of them was like dominating the match. Farouk got a couple like really good like spine busters in. He was really like, it was a very physical match. Like Farouk fights very like physically. He doesn't give you a lot of space. Like you fall down, he's right on top of you. He throws you in the corner, he's right there. He's not somebody that's going to give you a lot of like breathing room, which is hard to kind of combat with because he's so like physically imposing. Like that is like an almost 300-pound man of like pure muscle just constantly like trying to get the best of you, which I imagine is quite exhausting. We get a few liners from Jerry the King during this match, mostly because Sunny is present,
She's
and
there,
therefore
yeah.
he cannot control himself. But at one point, he was absolutely certain that Sonny had winked at him.
Oh my God. It
Yeah,
was so bad.
and they just kept cutting to her, not paying attention to him whatsoever. There was a line he said where he said that he had asked Sonny if she would go out with either JR or the other commentator, and he said that she would rather give birth to a porcupine that was on fire. Wow.
That is specific.
Specific and
And really
quite
rough.
a visual. Yeah. Quite a visual.
Very visual.
Farouk comes out on top. He wins the
Mm-hmm.
match, and he will now face Psycho Sid in the semifinal round of the tournament.
He made a little
As
appearance.
he did. Sonny, like, after the match, grabs the mic. It was kind of difficult to hear her over the booing. So,
Yeah,
it
it
was
happens.
pretty much standard, just like, we're the best, we won, we're gonna take the title home, blah blah
We're going
blah.
all the way to the top. Yeah.
And then Psycho Sid makes an appearance. He, on the way down to the ring, gets kind of like into the camera and gives a kind of like a foreboding, be careful what you wish for, because
Yeah.
you might just get it.
Yeah.
He gets in the face of Farouk. And it looks like they're about to just like pop off.
I was
When
ready.
a bunch of officials like kind of storm the ring and separate the two.
Yeah.
So that's coming. And that should
And
be very intense.
yeah, and you forget, or I forgot, like, not that I forgot how big Psycho Sid is, but like Farouk is huge. And then when Psycho Sid came out and was getting in his face and he was literally like above Farouk, I was like, wait a minute.
Oh
Like
no. When you see like a like grown ass man just stomp over the top rope, like with unfazed,
that
just
was
like
crazy.
just
Just
like
swung over it like he was going
nothing.
up the garden steps. Like I
Right,
was like,
100%.
what?
It was, yeah. It was so casual. That's how you know like how massive this man is, because it wasn't even like a thought. Like, mind you, those ropes like would be like all the way up to like my neck. So like,
I was like, wait. I thought, wait. I was like, I know Farouk is huge. How is Psycho Sid talking down at him? Like, how is
mhm.
this even? It was crazy.
Yeah. So that's gonna be coming in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully they really just like slap the ever living life out of each other, because they're both just monsters,
Just
period.
monsters, period.
So following that match, we get a get well soon video package for Ahmed Johnson, which was truly just wild. Just
Like
mostly because every wrestler that they had on it was like this close to the camera, and then in between each like little get well message, they just kept replaying Ahmed Johnson like getting injured. Like, it was like a bad like America's like funniest home video, like, because it just kept cutting to the part where he just like gets injured, and you're like, I don't think we need to see it like every other second. Like, I
it
think
was
we got the point.
so bad. And like
Right.
some of the things that people said were funny, like because it was like, I don't care, like, if you're my friend or my enemy, like, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, and I can't wait to see you get back in the ring, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But, or like, they were really in their character, so it was funny. But then it just kept, like, hard cutting to him getting, like, repeatedly kicked in the kidney, and I was like, I don't know if we needed this. And it was like that close in, like, shaky confessional cam, like, and then Marlena and Goldust were on one this episode, and Goldust didn't even fight. Like
No.
they had
No.
some exquisite moments in this episode, but Marlena said like, "Oh, like you're gonna lose a kidney? That's interesting because Goldust could serve up that kidney with a what did she say? With a with some fava beans and a nice Chianti."
Chianti.
And then Goldust was just like,
No, fully. He just like in his agreement was just like and you're like, excuse you, sir. I never want to hear that noise come from your mouth ever again.
also fava beans wouldn't have been my first thought or my first choice. Like
No.
I don't even know what those are, to be honest. Like
No, honestly, I know they're big. I'm pretty sure they're like really big beans. Like, they're like thick. But like, that's besides the point. Like,
fava beans and a nice it was just okay. I was like,
um
okay,
And
Sure.
then so that whole get well package was just odd. Like it was just
No one was getting well from that.
100%. We could have
No
just
one.
we could have saved the couple minutes and just sent him some like flowers
Sent
and
him a card and
and
a
a get well
flowers.
card. Yeah,
Everybody
like
sign it like it was the teacher retiring when you were in middle school. You just sign the
100%.
card and you move along. That's all
Thank
we
you.
needed.
Agreed, 100%.
Horrible.
So after that video package, we have an interview with the WWF World Champion HBK Shawn Michaels. First and foremost, he comes down and he addresses Camp Cornette. Basically, he had some choice words to say, basically being like, I've already run through your entire group with the exception of you. And that's not going to be my wheelhouse. That's going to be for my mentor Jose Lothario to handle. Jose Lothario then grabs the mic and gets heated. He's basically
Yeah.
like, this is personal between me and Jim Cornette. And like then he just starts like going off in Spanish. And let me tell you, this man was pissed. He cannot wait to get his hands on Jim Cornette. I mean, especially after the last couple of weeks, he's been like hit with a racket. He's got
Yeah,
like cheap
he's
shots
taken some
on him.
L's.
Yeah, exactly. So it's time for him to get his
Are they like actually gonna
comeuppance.
fight?
I hope so. I thoroughly hope so.
I am so curious about this because I was like, is he gonna like are they gonna legitimately wrestle? Like
Russell would probably be generous, but like
okay, it's like a street fight, like a
yeah, I'm sure other
okay,
wrestlers will be involved somehow, but
okay. Because I was like,
they
is this a
should
match?
fight.
Yeah, I want them to fight, but I was just like, are they gonna make this a match or like?
We'll see. Only time will tell.
I'm
Hopefully,
so
my best guess is
curious.
it'll probably be on the next like pay-per-view.
Thank God.
So then Shawn Michaels gets back on the mic to address Mankind, basically saying that Mankind's been running roughshod all over the WWF since he got there. Basically, he gave a little foreboding warning, being like, you pissed off the wrong dude in the Undertaker, and he's going to come and get you. But in the interim, Shawn Michaels says the line, I've got more guts than brains. And then he addresses Mankind in reference to his like kind of previous promo saying like, I'm not your mommy, I'm not your friend, but I will be your daddy. That was just, we were just left speechless
Speechless. And
because we love this man. And I don't think there was a better way he could have ended that kind of interview.
no, and I just want to say that before he even said that, when he walked on, I said, because yesterday was Father's Day, and I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God.
hey, it's like, happy Father's Day to Shawn Michaels. And then he said that, and I was like, I'm
You know
just
what?
saying, he knows.
He know.
And I'm sorry that I'm a heinous individual, but
No, please. And how we are fine because not 2 seconds after this interview ends, they plaster Shawn Michaels' cover of Playgirl over the
oh my,
front, over the top,
yeah.
and they're like in newsstands today.
They're like,
So
it's so shocking. Like, I can't believe it. Because they want people
right,
obviously to buy, but they're like, oh my God, I can't believe he did
yeah,
this.
and every
But
time
then
it
all
like
the behind the scenes footage of him like,
oh, fully. Yeah. Just like, yeah. And then JR was like, we should mention it's for adults only. I was like, they probably got the gist considering he's in a towel that's like barely covering anything. So, like, I'm sure they got it. Like,
it's Playgirl.
that's going to be something to look forward to because Mankind's been on a tear. And
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels has also just been having like the ride of his life as far as like retaining the championship over the last like couple months.
it's
So,
true.
he's killing it. So they're both really kind of at like the top of their game. So I think it'll be very competitive. So the following match we had TL Hopper versus the debuting The Stalker.
The stalker
Okay.
versus the plumber.
Right.
Who would have thought those things would come together?
Only in
Not
the
I.
only in the WWE. It was. The stalker, like, so basically his
And
whole thing is that he is like I guess a big game hunter. He hunts one animal a year. Supposedly, he takes that animal, kills it, and then mounts its head like on his wall. Like that's all the background to him that
shtick.
we know. I take more issue with what? kind of hunter only hunts one animal a year? I'm sorry, are you trying to take down like a triceratops? Like, are you going back in time? Like, why does it take an entire year
Like,
for you
what?
to complete one hunting trip?
I'm like, are you really bad at doing it, or are you a psycho and like you like get to know it? Like, I was like, I don't.
100. It was weird, and like the character just seemed like kind of very half like baked. He had like a t-shirt like that he definitely got from like the like camo hunting whatever section of Walmart,
Yeah, like
and then
Bass Pro
yeah,
Shop.
and then like the face paint was also kind of camo. It was like camo X carnival face paint. Like it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't. I don't know. There just wasn't much like to him to like bite into, and I get very wary of these like occupational characters. Like
Yeah.
the entire premise of their character is just whatever job that they have. There's not really much for you to like take an interest in. And
Yeah.
also like it makes you think like if they have other jobs, like why are they wrestling?
Yeah, like
You
what
know
is
what
this,
I
a
mean?
hobby? Like,
Like if he's a plumber, like why shouldn't he be like tending to people's toilets? Like I don't really care
yeah,
that
I
much
feel like
about him as a wrestler. Like if all
does like the union approve of this? Like,
right, 100%. Are they gonna back this?
I'm confused. Are
Does he
we
get paid
unionizing the
differently?
WWF? Like, what's happening? And he like also the plumber came out and he was like full on making out with Betsy the plunger.
Oh yeah, he was having a moment.
It
I was like, should
was
we go?
yeah, do you want me to
Like,
leave, or we don't
but
kink shame in this house, but I don't necessarily need to watch it.
yeah, no, 100%. Not to, doesn't mean I need to be a spectator of
Yeah.
the intimate moment.
Yeah.
Um,
That's for
during
you.
this match, we had a little side promo thing from Brian Pillman with Owen Hart.
Hmm.
Basically kind of expanding on the announcement of last week that Bret Hart will be returning, and he will be returning with an announcement. Although
More
it
announcements
does,
about announcements.
I know, honestly, it does seem that Bret Hart will be returning as a like bad guy, because Owen Hart is still very much in his like bad guy like character, and
Hmm.
they are now on the same page. So
Mm.
that makes me think that Bret Hart is going to come back as a heel.
I'm kind of
So,
into that.
oh, me too. Absolutely.
I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I like it because it's like a, former champion feels like he's slighted, goes off, returns with chip on shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
My
uh,
type.
100%. And then we get into a, mind you, we're still in the middle of a match. We
Oh
get to
yeah.
the end of the match by the Stalker performing it like a superplex on to TL Hopper. He gets the 1, 2, 3. That's kind of the gist of that match. We'll see. He said it was the Stalker's debut, so we'll see if we get more of him. I don't really recall the Stalker much in my early days of viewing wrestling, so
Mm.
I don't think he's going to contribute a whole lot. But we get a right after this match, we get a little kind of what you missed on Glee of Mr. Perfect
Oh my
um
God, it's getting so serious.
stealing over the course of a month
Mr.
4
Steal Your
different
Girl out
women
here.
from Triple H. Yeah, I don't know. It's still perplexing. We don't know what he says to them, but they go.
And I actually was confused because last week I thought he was just stealing like whoever's woman was
Mm,
out there. Because first of all, where does Triple H keep getting these women? I didn't
I,
realize they were consecutively just his.
I know his Rolodex must be fat.
Fat and like what? Like
100%.
I like okay, go off, but I was like I did not realize it was exclusively his. And then this promo was like, "Oh, wait a minute. He's just stealing
Triple H's
Triple H's
girls.
women." And I was like, and so far we've learned the count is up to 4. He's stolen 4 women. Where
100%.
are they?
What
Where are they?
where are they?
What is he
Where is he
planning?
keeping them?
Like I just don't know. Is he going to bring them all out at their match? Because if he doesn't, missed opportunity.
If they don't all come out in like a brigade,
Uh,
like
arm in
I
arm, sit ringside. Like
100%, I want it to look like the Rockettes are coming out. Like,
thank you, thank you. Like that's what I need to see. And if they don't do that, like really miss opportunity. Seriously, because
I
that would be
agree.
iconic.
So that match is coming. I'm sure they're leading up to it probably for like the next pay-per-view. We're now seeing kind of Triple H get more like into the fold. For the first like couple weeks, we did not see him much generally.
Right.
The following match was Freddie Joe Floyd, Senor Fancy Boots himself, versus Crush, our felon turned wrestler. Yeah, this was a good match. Like,
Yeah.
it was a good like back and forth. Crush's face tattoo is alarming for all.
And I asked, I was like, is that real? And Xavier's like, I don't know. Like, see if it smudges after a while, because that's usually the tell, but it didn't move. So unless it's with permanent marker or it's actually a tattoo.
I know. I don't know. I guess it's real. So
it's so
I
odd.
I take such issue with his like Medusa hair
I
that
know.
like it's so distracting. Like
yeah.
I don't know what to make of him, because the whole point is just like he's a criminal, but when he like comes out to like wrestle, he kind of just looks like a pirate. You know what I mean?
He's too many things. He has too many things. Like, he has like the nose ring that connects to the ear. He has the face tattoo. He has the braids, the leather jacket, and like the pirate boot. It's like too many things.
Right.
The face tattoo is enough.
No,
Shave your head.
he has to take the, honestly, he would look so much better without it. But it's
Yeah.
like the rule of thumb where you have to like take off an accessory or two before you leave the house.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like
no one has told him that.
No, nobody has
guy.
told him that. He just keeps like piling them on and like sending his way out there. And you're like, whoa, 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 sir, you are too large of a man with too many things.
Too many things.
So it was a decent back and forth. We have some pretty like impressive moments from Crush. One in particular where he does like the press slam, where he has Freddie Joe Floyd completely over his head, like arms all the way like extended,
So crazy,
and then just drops him. He follows that up with a leg drop. And then we get his, I guess what I assume is his finisher, which is called the heart punch.
Yeah.
So basically he like extends like their arm like over their head and just like punch them really hard in the ribs, I guess. That was the finisher. We get the heart punch and we get the 1, 2, 3. And then Clarence Mason, lawyer / manager of Crush, comes in the ring and does himself a little happy dance. He was fully having his little happy feet moment.
I've never in my life
in the middle
seen
of the ring.
Something like that.
Oh, he was so stoked. I was like, okay, sir. Okay.
He even did a running like jump high five.
Oh my God.
Crush. And I was like, this is literally like a kid who like brought their dad to like bring your dad to work day, and he was like a fireman. He like did something really cool, and the son's like, yeah, dad. Like,
absolutely. Like, you feel like it's gonna be like the freeze frame of like the end of like a kids show, like, yeah.
And it like says like where they are in the
episode.
future.
Yeah,
like it's like
Clarence Billy went on to exactly.
Oh
like
God.
Billy grew up and like graduated college. He has 2.5 children in the suburbs. And you're
100%.
Okay.
And he never touched drugs ever again. Like,
right, 100%. Brought to you by Dare. And you're like
and scene. Oh my God. I do want to quickly mention, I do want to say, give props to Freddie Joe Floyd, not just for his boots this time. He sells
really
like well. Mofo. Like like there was one point like Crush, he was on the ground and he pushed him, and like Freddie Joe Floyd like launched himself like into the ropes.
Yeah.
And I was that, how did he even do that? Because the Crush was like, and he was like he went like,
and it's all for the sake of making Crush look like he's superhuman.
Good.
Like,
I need me one of those.
100%.
I need somebody like that.
It's kind of like having like a hype man, like,
yes,
but like just in the ring.
Like, incredible. And he's so good at it. I understand why they use him, because he's amazing.
Oh, he's doing wonders as enhancement talent right now. Like, he's making everyone look like him. The last couple of weeks he faced Mankind, and I think he faced Goldust also, all of which came out looking like $1 million.
It's true.
So, and then so we get to our main event. We had Salvatore Sincere versus Salvatore Sincere versus the returning Undertaker. We have not seen the Undertaker in a wrestling match since the Boiler Room Brawl. The Undertaker comes out, no hat, no jacket, No fanfare. He's pissed. He came in to fight
Livid.
today.
Just a strobe light. So you like only saw him, like he was like walking in and like the strobe would go off and you'd see him and then like he'd
And then he get like a
disappear.
little bit closer, a little
Oh,
bit closer,
it
a
was
little bit
so,
closer. It's
so
great.
good.
And then Salvatore Sincere came out, just living his best '90s windbreaker chic with
Phenomenal.
a little top hat,
I loved it. I can't lie.
looking like everybody we ever went to high school with. But
Oh my god.
he was surprisingly good. He's undefeated up to this point.
Which
Salvatore Sincere.
I was gonna ask you because I was like, I've literally
Literally
never
never
seen
seen
this
him before.
person before. So I'm like, who is he
So
undefeated against?
they have other programs that we aren't watching, mostly because we
okay.
only have so much time that we can
Yeah,
spend
yeah,
watching
yeah.
wrestling. But yeah, so there are other programs that he's probably been featured on that we just haven't seen.
Heard.
So up to this point, he was undefeated. The Undertaker was in rare form tonight. He was coming for a fight. He was coming to kick some ass. And Salvatore, I will say, was very impressive because
Yeah.
he did have offense like for the Undertaker, which is kind of hard to do when the Undertaker's in that kind of mood because he's very intense. During this match, though, we get a cutaway little pre-recorded segment from Goldust and Marlena.
Oh, wow.
Marlena's been we haven't really heard her talk before today. This was the
Never.
first time we've been fortunate enough to be graced with the dulcet tones of Marlena.
I'm so glad you took your time with that one.
Thank you. I wanted to make
to...
sure I needed to make sure I phrased that correctly. Once again, it was a little, they're just a weird little couple. So
and I have to say, kind of goals. I'm not gonna lie.
It works really well for them.
I'm kind of into it now. Like they're really growing up. I mean, Marlena's always been, I've always loved her. Like them as a unit.
Yes, but you see them like together. So she quotes The Untouchables, like the movie, and you'll notice like in promos, like generally with them, there's usually some kind of like movie quote. Like the character Goldust was like kind of made to look like an Oscar. You're
telling me this now?
So
after
sorry.
17 weeks. I was like, I don't understand. I don't get why he does this, but all right. Like,
so he looks like an Oscar, and everything he does is kind of like movie related. Yeah, so that's a thing. And so so we get that little promo because the Undertaker and Goldust have a final curtain match coming up at the pay-per-view. Oh, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh my god.
I think the Undertaker's got, something to prove as far as getting him back into contention with Mankind and Paul Bearer, and there's payback there that needs to be dealt with. But Goldust has kind of consistently been in that like middle upper like card. Like he's always like right there. Like he's been the Intercontinental Champion. He's vied for the World Championship before. Like he's always just kind of like right there. And like so he has something to prove going into this match. Because like the Undertaker's like been on top this whole time. So if you can like knock somebody like the Undertaker like down a peg, it only like puts you further down towards your goals.
Wow.
So they both have something to kind of like prove going like into this. But back to Salvatore Sincere and the Undertaker. The Undertaker has some moments in this one. He did one of those like he grabs Salvatore Sincere like by the neck and just like lifts him sheer off the ground straight above his head, and then just like yeets him onto the ground as if he was just like disgusting. Like didn't want anything.
Like he was a tissue. He just blew his nose on and was like, ew.
Yuck. I'm over you. And
it was crazy.
Oh, it was fantastic. Salvatore Sincere at one point, like, so he gets the upper hand, has the Undertaker like down on the ground, and then proceeds to start slapping the Undertaker in the face while he's on the ground. And we were just like, that's a mistake. That's
bad. I was like, oh god.
I was like, you just messed up so bad. Because the Undertaker, of course, shoots right up. But
also he was showboating. He's slapping him around, then he gets up instead of pinning him, and he's just like, hey, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, here we go.
Whoa, stop.
Here we go.
And then so the Undertaker gets up, he runs the ropes, does this like diving clothesline thing that is just a thing of beauty.
Oh, I just got chills.
Got
Woo!
he choke slams Salvatore, hits him with the tombstone, which was brutal, by the way. That tombstone
Brutal. A
was like,
schmack.
yeah, you like felt his neck just like crunch like an accordion.
Oh.
And then gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker comes out on top. The show ends with that like kind of blue lighting and the Undertaker just kind of basking in his victory.
Oh, so good. And like at one point the ref, like he gets the 1, 2, 3, he gets up and the ref goes to like lift his arm and he literally goes like, ugh, like don't touch me.
Don't
like
yeah, no, like
and I was like, oh, he's so mad. I was like, I love these so mad. And then he was just in the ring, just like in the purple light.
Oh,
Just,
absolutely.
Like, so good. Everyone and then we were laughing. Xavier and I were laughing so hard because everyone in the audience, because this would be the two of us. Everyone in the audience was like doing the Undertaker, and like the one kid, they panned to the one kid, and he literally like saw the camera was on him and was like,
No, fully
like rolled his eyes back into his side. And I was Xavier's like, if that's not us, I swear to God.
Like I don't know who it is, because that literally us at a wrestling show, we get so wrapped up in it, like
Yep.
because it's just so much fun. Like if you're
So much
not
fun.
interacting like with what's going on and you're like dragged to like a wrestling show, like you're doing it wrong. Like
Wrong.
just lean into it. Like I don't care if you got dragged there or if you're the biggest fan in the world. Like the crowd participation in a wrestling environment is
Top
bar
tier.
none. Like bar
Top
none,
tier.
because everyone gets so invested.
Hype. I was like, the last one we went to, I was like gossiping with people next to me about who's with who and da da da
Right.
da.
Oh, it was
Like,
so good.
oh, it's so fun.
All right, guys. So that was this week's episode of the New to Wrestling podcast with another edition.
With another one.
If you would like to get kind of in contact with us, like here's where you can find us. If you want to find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, it's going to be the N2, the number 2, W podcast. And if you want to find us on Facebook or YouTube, it's just the New to Wrestling podcast, all one word. Please like hang out with us, talk wrestling with us, ask us questions. I'm constantly on the socials, checking what's up.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us and coming along for the ride. I've been blown away by people commenting, people watching.
Oh my
It's
God.
been quite a ride, and it's only just beginning. So
I know, yeah, it's so wild and it's so fun, and we love to chit chat. We love to chit chat. So
we
like,
do this
please,
whether we're talking about wrestling or not.
swear. So like, we love to chit chat with us. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week.
Guys. Bye.
Bye.